Very good afternoon. Thanks for joining us on Matchday Live. My name is Kel Spellman. That is the back of us there. This is our brand new studio here in the Etihad Stadium. And we are currently enjoying Manchester City versus Southampton. I say enjoying. The score currently stands at 0-0. Here to get into all the action is Stephen McInerney and Sean Gota. Stephen, I'll begin with you on this one. What is your assessment of that first half?
It's been slow, if we're being totally honest. The only reassuring thing for me is that you can tell we've got a few gears to go through. You know, I don't feel like we've showed our best hand yet. And I think I do think Manchester City tend to, after an underwhelming half, we do tend to correct our mistakes and come out better, because Pep obviously is one of the best at identifying patterns and problems. But it's okay. I mean, a football game is 90 minutes long, you know? Like, sometimes part of winning in football is actually realising what doesn't work and then correcting it. So even though maybe we haven't been at our fluid best, and I think it's little basic things like passes slightly overhit or underhit or whatever, it's that kind of problem that's plagued us so far, combined with Southampton defending really well. Got to give them credit as well. They've been throwing players in front of the shots. And I think we've got a little bit more to come. We've obviously tried, you know, Sterling through the middle with Jesus on the right and so on, and it's been all right so far. I just want to see a little bit more for next half.
Yeah, absolutely. And Sean, I mean, we were kind of watching it here and kind of said you could see we just weren't quite our fluid best, as you've said. Now, how much of that is down to the way that Southampton have set up, and how much of it is down to City just not quite being at the races in that first half?
I think it's a bit of both. I think, first of all, Hasenhüttl, as a manager, has said, I want to go toe-to-toe, and I mentioned it pre-talk when we was talking about how we played them last season, and it was 20 minutes or so, 30 minutes, where it was, for me, one of the most exciting games, because we normally see teams just drop off, and then it was how we're going to break them down.
Yeah.
But he's one of those managers that obviously sets up in a way that says we're gonna go toe to toe, and for a neutral, it makes it an exciting game. I think part of today is we've not really had that rhythm. A couple of our players at times have misplaced passes, and that's not like us. You know, normally some of our players go through a game and they only misplace 2 passes throughout the game. We're seeing 2 or 3 misplaced passes throughout the half, so that rhythm is not quite gotten there. We haven't. Putting Sterling in, we're not able to find those through passes enough to get him getting through.
Yeah.
When we're in the wide positions, they're doing awfully well in terms of blocking his shots. 1 or 2 shots we just saw towards the end there. Score pass to Fernandinho. I think it was the midfielder that's come out and put a challenge in. So a lot of credit goes down to them. One, having the bravery to say we're going to face up and play you, City, but also saying when we're defending, we're giving everything.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they have been really brave, actually, I think, Southampton, in their approach to the game. Mentioned there about the kind of chances coming from out wide. There was that first one, Stephen, where Gundogan was just so close and just couldn't quite get on the end of it.
Not quite tall enough in the end, was he? He's a big point going on there. But, like, we've had a lot of joy, I think, from Grealish. Has done really well down the left. I mean, it's not quite come off him, but he does seem to have, you know, the beating of his fullback. And I wouldn't be surprised if he looked to try and expose that. There's a few times where we've had those crosses that have just been intercepted, you know, across the goal. I remember one in particular where I think it came from the right. Jesus whipped it in, and it'd been an inch further forward. It's tapping at the back post.
Yeah.
And it feels like that has been this game so far. It's just all the passes are a little bit off, or not hard, you know, hit hard enough or whatever. But I mean, that shows that we are creating the spaces at very least. It's just our execution hasn't been perfectly there.
Yeah.
Part of why this game probably feels strange as well is because, you know, a few days ago we were treated to 6 goals.
Yes.
And it felt like every 15 minutes we were going, hey, go. Yeah. And because we're not at that moment of going, yes, go, and all that, it just feels like, are we playing bad? And it's just, again, is really getting that rhythm. Once or twice, we'll give it away at times when we normally don't. And I think that once we tidy up on that, we're going to see that rhythm come, and that's when we'll see those sharp, intricate passes around, and then all of a sudden, a nice cute through ball or a clever cross, and we're getting on the end of it.
No, so obviously great to see Fernandinho kind of always whenever he's in the starting 11. But I don't know, for me, a couple of times, it just felt we were almost like a body short in midfield. Like, I know Bernardo, bless him, is running everywhere, but there was a couple of times where you could see in a pocket, maybe that's where a player should be to maybe give that link up. Does that mean then, do you think Gundogan has to be aware of that, or would it require a change in shape possibly, Sean?
Well, sometimes, because we're seeing sometimes how Pep would ask Gundogan to sort of B level and then break forward. So it could be that he's, you know, Gundogan is further up. And we also seen sometimes he's asked the fullbacks to come in. primarily Cancelo. You know, Walker does go in, but he doesn't go inside as much. He looks for Walker to be a bit more on the outside. So I think it's getting that balance right, that if Gundogan is there, then that space is being protected. And if Gundogan has gone forward, then that fullback comes in, and then Fernandinho can tidy up that stuff. And if it does break loose, we've got that other player, that fullback that's coming in to pick up the pieces to then reset and start
go again.
And
yeah, absolutely. On the other side, Gabriel Jesus as well, kind of taking on this, we say a new winger role. We know it's not new for him. It is for him at City. Yeah. But I think he's had a lot of luck down the right-hand side, and he's looked strong as well.
I like him there. He's just so willing to do everything on that right-hand side. Like, he's so willing to defend as well and get back. He's physical. There's an old saying, and I'm not sure if it's true, about strikers know exactly where to put the ball. You know, obviously he's played there a lot, and you can tell he's a very good crosser, and he picks people out as well, which I like. You know, he's not just whipping it in for the sake of it. And you wouldn't be surprised, once again, if he gets at the end of the back post, you know, after a Grealish cross or something like that, because he seems to have that desire. Go on, Sean.
Yeah, I was going to say, the one thing I like to see, just a little adjustment, is how he receives, or how and where he receives it. So a lot of times in the first half, he's received the ball and then it's back where the defender comes up to him. And when you receive the ball as a wide player, the fullback is dictating. Because Jesus is quality, he receives the ball, does a little shake, and then he drives inside. And he's not dictating, but if he receives the ball where he's actually facing up with his body open, then all of a sudden it makes a difference, because he can see the slided ball, he can pass into Sterling, follow his pass, he can pass a square, make a run down the line. So all those options open, but we're seeing quite a few times he received it with his back and the fullback coming up to him. And when it's like that, the fullback is dictating your play.
Yeah, that comes from moving the ball quicker, though, doesn't it? And moving it more precisely. So to actually create the space for him to be one-on-one and front-facing with the defender, because a few times where the pass, it's little things like the pass has just been like there instead of to the feet, so it slows it down. You can't instinctively move the ball across the pitch or whatever. So if you clean that up, you give Jesus more space. And sometimes it really is the basics, to quote Fabian, you know, like a while back. But sometimes that kind of stuff really can make a difference. And Pep will know that. And to me, I remember last season, the amount of times it felt frustrating in the first half, and we came out and then found the goal around the 60-70 minute mark, and I don't see any reason why we shouldn't see the same again today, hopefully.
Yeah, I don't think it's panic stations yet at all, Stephen. Absolutely not. If we're looking towards that second half, and we know we've got kind of a pool of youth talent over on the bench, but we've also got the likes of Kevin De Bruyne, Phil Foden, Ferran Torres, Riyad Mahrez. Not too bad at all, Stephen. I guess a question to you both. I'll go to you first, Sean. If there was any maybe changes in the offering, who would you maybe be looking to bring on to spice it up?
Well, there's always the easy answer. As much as I want to try to avoid it and allow Steve to go with the easy answer of De Bruyne, I have to say De Bruyne. Because De Bruyne just sees the game and opens up opportunities. His quality of pass, I don't think Gundogan has gotten into the game as much as we normally see him involved. And that could largely be down to how Southampton are playing. And that's not to say that Gundogan would be the one to come off, but I think KDB, he just has a way of seeing passes, delivering passes, and even when he's out wide, that putting the balls in those areas where defenders don't like, as we saw Champions League with the own goal. Defender doesn't know what to do and ends up scoring an own goal. So that's quite an easy one. I would say Phil Foden. I'm taking away all the options here, aren't I? I'd say Phil Foden, because Phil Foden's always, for me, threatens the goal, creates opportunities. Don't ask me who comes off. You may want to bounce that off one, Steve.
I might be surprised, though. Ferran might be the answer, genuinely. He could be that, because in the current squad, looking at that selection of players, there's not many better at those near post runs or those tap-ins, and it's just an instinct. Sean had it, of course, you know exactly where to be or why to be, and it's just Ferran seems to have that. And maybe actually, I don't think Raheem is a goal scorer in the same way that Ferran is, even though his stats do show that. But I mean, in terms of just like those 4 or 5 yard finishes that strikers make look easy. So maybe actually he'll be the one getting ahead of the defender instead of waiting for it to go past, you know, that kind of thing. So it could be that we just actually need maybe KDB's passes, and then KDB to Ferran, he'll make the run that maybe Sterling won't because of different players, and that could just be enough.
Nice, I like it, gents. I like it very much. Okay, let's take a slight pause then and take a look at our Cryptic City this week. Of course, you know this is the game, brand new. We created a lot of conversation here in the studio. I mean, we
got a first name, didn't we?
Yeah, we're still not quite there. I mean, we've had some right and wrong answers, I believe, on socials. Trying to find them, but I can't get them up.
It's tough.
It's the dabbing unicorn that threw me. I don't know what the answer is yet, but that's the bit where I got lost. Because he's dabbing that unicorn.
Yeah, I think we've got an idea of a first name. I think you could be right on the first name.
Oh my God, I just realised dabbing. Dabbing, it's not the unicorn. I'm pretty certain.
It's the dab.
It's the dab.
Okay.
Why did he use a unicorn?
I've got it then. I think it's what we said. It's what we said.
You got it.
Yeah. Okay. We'll reveal that at full time. Get your answers into that WhatsApp, and I will have them set up for me to read through them at full time. That's when you'll have to come join us. Let me quickly bring you up to speed on the halftime scores around the Premier League. Of course, earlier on, the early kickoff with Brentford winning 2-0. I know that was against Wolves, who have had a slightly struggle start to the season. Then half-time in the other games that are happening, Arsenal are beating Burnley away from home 1-0. Liverpool 1-0 up against Crystal Palace, although Palace did hit the post, and I think there's a few changes there in defence for Liverpool. And Norwich found an equaliser. Watford went 1-0 up, and that put them level, which is not good, because I definitely know I've got a Watford keeper in my fantasy football, so buzzing with that. Also buzzing that I took Even Tony out this week, and that he scored as well for Brentford. So we've kind of spoke about there, gents, what we kind of do. Sean, it's not panic stations yet. Move the ball a bit quicker, and hopefully they will put the ball in the back of the net.
Yeah, far from it. Listen, I think the players, if there's no subs, I think they'll want to be testing the goalkeeper certainly a little bit more, and I'm sure that in the first 15 minutes we'll be looking to get on the score sheet.
Absolutely. All right, Stephen, Sean, thank you so much. Thank you to all you watching at home as well, or wherever you are in the world. We will be back at full time to get into the second half and review the game, and also look ahead, of course, to the game in the middle of the week. We will be back at full time. Get those guesses in. Any questions as well, use the WhatsApp, and we'll see you at full time. Come on, City.